Welcome to PowerA Productions, where in this video we are going to unbox and test out the PowerA Enhanced Wireless Controller designed for the Nintendo Switch. Hello everyone and welcome to PowerA Productions. If this is your first time to the channel, I want to take a second and just thank you for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. If you do like what you see here, make sure you check out some of the other videos on the channel, including other controller tutorials and reviews, including how to mod the Switch Pro Controller and give it a flash of color. But we are here today with the PowerA Enhanced Wireless Controller designed for the Nintendo Switch. And one of the things about this controller versus the Pro Controller is just the cost. This is $49.99 versus $69.99, which is what the Switch controller, the Pro Controller, is normally. What we're going to do is we're going to take this out of the box, see what it takes to get it up and running, go over some of the features and buttons on it, compare it to both the Joy-Con grip along with the Pro Controller, see how the layout looks, and we're going to test it out and see how it plays. Let's hit the bench. So here we have our Switch on the bench next to the PowerA Enhanced Wireless Controller, and just looking at the box, it looks pretty similar to a Pro Controller. Wireless and motion control. We're going to look at this in a second, but there's two additional mappable buttons on the back. And speaking about on the back, you have, again, on-the-fly button mapping, where you can have an A, B, X, Y, L, R, ZL, ZR, your D-pad, and then your two assignable buttons on the back. It does work off of Bluetooth wireless, and it has motion controls, so you can play freely without being tethered to the console. Motion controls enable intuitive gaming, includes two AA batteries. And a couple other things on here is it does not support HD Rumble, infrared, or Amiibo NFC, which is kind of disappointing, but let's see what we can get here out of the box. So there's the controller out of the box. There are different color schemes available. I just went with the standard black one because, quite frankly, Target wouldn't sell me the Mario one that I wanted when I was there. So I went with the standard red and black. It does run off of two AA batteries, and I mean, they're knockoff Duracells. Let's just call them what they are here. Let us compare to the overall size and layout compared to the Pro Controller. Now, this does have a different case on it, but it is the regular Nintendo Pro Controller. If you want to see how I installed this case, check the video link right about there. You can see how I did it. It's actually pretty easy. It does look like the hand grips come in a little bit more than on the Pro Controller. It also looks like the thumb grips are not as large on these as they are on the Pro Controller either. Looking at the buttons on the top now, this is just a charger or a dongle for a charger. You have your ZR, R, ZL, L. Those look, the L and R seem to be a little bit bigger than the Pro Controllers, which is good. Well, the ZRs is more pronounced downward, but they're not as wide. I don't know if that'll affect things or not. On the back side, you do have your programmable grip buttons there, and I believe that's what actually you use to program the button. On the bottom side, you have a player status indicator right there. And then one final thing on the back is just the battery compartment. We are using the latest firmware, so we're good as far as that goes. Now, before I put the batteries in, one final thing I wanted to do was just compare this controller to the Joy-Con grip, because, I mean, a lot of people are gonna look for something like this instead of using something like this. And they don't wanna pay necessarily $70 for the Pro Controller. And you can see you do get a more traditional D-pad on here versus using the up, down, left, right buttons on the left Joy-Con here. You get a more traditional placement of the right analog stick than this one here, and definitely much larger A, B, X, Y buttons than on the Joy-Con grip. So, you know, overall, it'll be a nice upgrade from this. I don't know how it would necessarily work compared to the stock one, but we're going to go ahead and fire it up. Batteries are installed, and the last thing we need to do here, and we're going to actually grab the manual. Lots of text, right? So what's the basic thing? Setup, Let's see, connect your Switch to the internet, typically download system. Okay, don't need to worry about that. Install yep, already installed the batteries. From the home menu, select controllers and then change grip and order. I will say the D-pad feels very stiff compared to the stock Switch. I mean, this feels really good. This is very firm right here. I don't know that I will necessarily like it. Capture buttons feel kind of cheap and plasticky, I'm not gonna lie. Same with the start and the minus button. In the hand, it feels very plasticky. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, yes, this is a hunk of plastic, but you can feel the quality. Even with this shell on it, you know, this feels like quality. This feels, well, not as substantial as that. This feels like quality. This, I don't know. It feels cheap. The analog sticks feel okay. No complaints there. I'm just not digging the D-pad, and it might free up with some usage. Let's do this. Let's stop talking about what it's going to feel like to play it, and let's play it. Pairing the enhanced controller to your Switch is pretty easy. I can actually show you real quick how to do it on screen. Go to the controller options, and what you do is you hit the change grip order. From here, you just press L and R on the controller that you want to pair. There, it found it, and you're paired. Pretty simple, straightforward. So we're gonna dive in just to some gameplay right now, and one of the first games that I wanna check out is how this performs in fighting games like the Super Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Edition. Now, I will tell you, in the hands, it feels cheap and plasticky because it is plasticky. It's really plasticky. I mean, even more so than, you know, this is an aftermarket shell on here, but it still feels like it has mass, it has weight, it has substance to it. This grip feels about as good as, you know, from the plastic, the outside of the shell feels almost as good as the stock one. This feels cheap. Let us go into the offline play, and we're gonna play the arcade version of Street Fighter 2, The New Challengers. And par for the course, I'm gonna take Ryu. Ooh, Ryu versus Ken. Let's see what we have here. And I'm using the analog stick here for starters. Ooh, got you. Was not able to do the dragon uppercut there. Yeah, for some reason I can't do the dragon uppercut with the analog stick. Still managed to win that first one. I'm gonna play this next one just with the D-pad and see how it feels. Still feels a little stiff, I think, but we'll see how it plays. Ooh, you swept the leg, Johnny. So I can pull off the dragon uppercut with the D-pad without much issue. Ooh, nice counter. Got him in the taint there. D-pad felt like it was more responsive than the analog stick, at least for the dragon uppercut. So let's zip out of here. Let's try out one of the Nintendo Classic games and see how that works. And actually, let's try Ghosts and Goblins. This is one of those, if you haven't had a chance to check his channel out yet, check out Megadan29. He's done some no-death runs on this game that it's just like, dude, how did you do that? Because this is an amazingly brutal game. Now, one thing on here too is, so B, whoa, and X do the same thing, but A is the only A button. Well, I was trying to show you guys how it worked there, and you can see just how brutal this game is. I mean, you have no room to screw around. I will say it doesn't feel a whole lot different than playing through my NES Classic. I actually did just pick up a physical copy of this too. I know some people don't like the fireball in this. I don't mind it. I knew I was going to get hit again there. So there's ghouls and ghosts, or ghosts and goblins. Let's try one other game here quick. Let's try Donkey Kong. Now for this, I'm actually going to use the analog stick to see how it plays. So A is jump. I always forget, if I haven't played Donkey Kong in a while, which actually does what. The best way I can describe the analog stick is vague and unconvincing. Definitely a reference there to Star Wars Rogue One. I wish there was more tension on it so that it would feel more substantial. At least for doing, platformers like this. Just like that through the first 2 levels, no issue there. Let's go back to the home screen. Let's try Crash Bandicoot, the Insane Trilogy. Great series. Love this game. And one of the cool things about it is I can now play it through HDMI thanks to the pound HDMI cable for the PS1 and PS2. Looks pretty good. Now this will look dynamically better. If you haven't picked this game up yet, if you're a fan of Crash at all, highly recommend it. It's really, really good. So here we are on the beach. This is such a great game. I mean, even the originals are just so good. Crash Bandicoot was, they did a good job of their marketing. It's one of the reasons why I wanted a PlayStation. And it came at a time when I was in my early 20s when the PlayStation, the original, came out. And I actually won a PlayStation. I was working for Radio Shack at the time, and we were at a manager's meeting for Christmas, and I actually won a PlayStation from, basically it was just a pool we had going on, or like a raffle or something. And then the next year or something like that, there was another contest I won where that's actually how I scored my PlayStation 2. So we'll go back here. We'll make sure we're getting all the boxes. Oh, missed a couple of apples. As far as the platforming on this, it's not bad. Seems to be quite a bit of deadband. I don't know. I'm going to hold my hand like this so you can see. I mean, there's no subtlety to Crash's movements. There is, but you've got to move a few millimeters to get him to respond. Well, Crash did okay, 10 boxes. It's okay. We're going to try one other game here real quick. What else can we try? So here's the controller, right? Let's see if Cappy works. He does. So that's good to see on here that Cappy can actually be used in Super Mario Odyssey, and that the gyroscope controls work. So what do I think of the PowerA Enhanced Wireless controller for the Switch? Well, it depends on what you're looking for. If you're just looking for another controller and you don't care if it uses the Amiibo, if you don't care about the HD Rumble, if you want wireless, it's okay. It's overpriced for what it is, though, quite honestly. At 50 bucks for the fit, the feel, and everything, I don't see the value in it. I would rather invest, quite honestly, in one of Retro Fighter's. They've got, now this is a corded controller, but it feels much better in the hand to me. I like the analog sticks better. I like the buttons better. Overall, I prefer the way this feels, even though it is a corded controller. It's not wireless. For $20 more, you can get, I mean, granted, mine has a different shell on it. Throw that out there. But for $70, you get the Pro controller that has Amiibo support, has HD Rumble, has better analog sticks, better L&R buttons, has better overall buttons, a better feel, better fit and finish, better quality. You get what you pay for, if you get my drift. Now again, if this was $29.99, $39.99, maybe. At $49.99, I don't see the value. Again, it doesn't have Amiibo support. It doesn't have a rechargeable battery. The D-pad, it did feel better as playthrough went on, but it still did not feel as good as either of these two controllers, quite honestly. It didn't even feel as good as my 8-bit DOE SN30 Pro that I have. I'd rather use that than this. And that has Rumble on it too, that's the other thing. If you really just need something for a second, third, fourth controller, maybe if you can get one on deal. But for me, for right now, this is kind of a pass. Even with the different, the Mario type and the other character controllers that they have out there, this is kind of a pass for me. I was a bit disappointed in this. But these are just my opinions. Let me know what you think down below in the comment section. I want to know what you think if you've had a chance to try one of these, if you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you felt, like I say, I'd like it better at a lower price point. I guess that's where I'm coming at it from. But let me know down in the comments what your thoughts are. Also, if you have any comments or questions, you can always send me an email over at rocksolidmail@gmail.com. Hit me up on Twitter at RockSolidStudios, or we've always got the conversation going over on our Facebook page at facebook.com/RockSolidProductions. Now, if you want to get early access to all of our videos too, exclusive content, and more, head on over to our Patreon page at patreon.com/rocksolid. For as little as $1 a month, $12 a year, you get all those benefits and features and a whole lot more, just like these amazing people you see on screen right now. And everything that people donate goes right back into the channel too. And if you also want to help the channel and sport some Rock Solid Production swag, you can do so by heading on over to our Teespring store on screen right now, where we have the Rock Solid Productions logo featured prominently on NES, Super NES, and N64 cartridges, and t-shirts, sweatshirts, tank tops, and a whole lot more. And finally, like I said at the top of the video too, if you like what you see here, check out some of our other videos that we have on the channel. We do have reviews of the Retro Fighter Switch controller. We did show you how to install external cases on the Switch Pro controller to kind of give it that Super NES style. We have those videos here on the channel for you to check out. And if you do like what you see, you want to see more, you want to be on the leading edge, like I mentioned at the top, please do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. That way each and every time we do come out with new video content, you're kept in the loop. I really enjoy talking with each and every one of you about different types of video game stuff, whether modern or retro. I want to hear from you. So like I say, leave a comment, send us an email, let me know what you think. PowerA controller, this is probably actually going to go back for me. These are just my opinions though. I want to know what you think. My name is Gary. This has been Rock Solid Productions. I thank you for watching. I'll see you soon.